Welcome back to the Mayor's Take. I'm your host, Daryl Hall, where we literally talk about any and everything. I have the privilege and the honor to sit here with the one and only Mayor Stephen L. Reed. Good sir, it's 2026. How are you?
Hey man, I'm doing well. How about yourself? I'm a little overdressed for this ep, but
you're good. You always trying to overstep me with stuff.
Listen, we had a whole lot going on today, so
I figured that. You always suited, dressed. I haven't seen the same suit twice.
Well, don't tell nobody that.
Okay.
I just flipped the socks and the tie a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little, just a little trickeration.
Okay, gotcha. Now before I get on, I do got to ask you some talking about your suit game. You ever bought a suit from Shein? Now I got two suits. My shoulder's kind of big back. The seam behind the armpit is struggling right now. So,
but see, that's part of your New Year's resolution, right? To make sure
you thinking in the past.
Oh, you already off?
I'm off of that.
You already off?
After the 15th of January, everything I thought I was gonna do, out the door.
It's done.
Out the door. All y'all that's in the gym right now, it's time for y'all to go. Y'all need to be running.
They slowly going.
I hope so, man. We're gonna talk about this running club too.
Oh yeah.
I ain't forgot about that. We're gonna leave it in the past, but we need to start this running club.
I'm building that tolerance up now. I'm getting back where I used to be. So
can you run a mile?
Oh yeah, I thought you would. I definitely run a mile.
Yeah, I almost died when I came out the driveway. I didn't know what to do with myself.
You bring it out the driveway?
Oh no, I tell my kids go to the driveway. But no, we got so much, man. It's 2026, the start of a great new year, man.
Yeah.
The weather is perfect right now. I'm with the conspiracy theories. I think y'all control the weather.
I wish.
How everything's going. But no, City of Montgomery, we just celebrated MLK weekend.
Yeah.
There was the parade going on downtown. There was a lot of speeches, a lot of church service that was going on. What was your highlight event for yourself for MLK weekend?
So, for me this year, I wasn't here. And one of the things we try to do on MLK is to make sure that coming right off the bus boycott commemoration, that we take a step back and we take a step back to the other leaders in the community and the region so they can kind of share their vision of Dr. King and how this holiday works. For me, most of the time I'm out of town speaking somewhere, and that's a great opportunity because we get a chance to talk about what Montgomery was then and what it is now, and how activism does change ththings, and why that's so important for Dr. King's dream. And I think for us, over the weekend, from everything I heard and saw, it was a good weekend. A lot of people, but I want to make an appeal that this is not just a black holiday.
Yeah.
This is a holiday for everyone. And I'm a little envious of other communities because you see a multicultural, multiracial, march out there. And it's probably people with different political ideologies as well. But you don't see that as much here in Montgomery. So I hope that we can find those leaders and find those organizations that can help us really bring together the melting pot of this community that we'd like to see. But listen, it was some fiery speeches that I saw. It was some timely speeches. It was some good sermons, given whether they were in the church or not.
Right.
And so there was a lot that I think was dead on, given what we're seeing happening around our community, our state, and our nation right now.
I love to hear it, man. And like I said, I stayed for the parade for a little while. Now, when I saw the motorcycles coming, it's time to go. It's time to go. No, so I'm glad we had an excited weekend, man. I'm still chewing off just being at Dexter Avenue and got a chance to sit in there, man. I was telling somebody else, it just feels unreal being in that space and the history and the culture, not just for the city of Montgomery, but for us as a people. So, man, just big shout out to everything Dexter Avenue is doing, man. Big shout out to y'all. Now, we got the legislation. I can't say it.
We're going to work with you. Legislative session.
I don't like the way you came in on that. All right, let me
we'll help y'all a little bit.
What the word you just said? I'm tongue tied. I had a speech impediment when I was a kid.
Hey, don't put it on when you.
I could because somebody scared me one time and they ain't been right since. I've been stuttering on 3 words. It's hard for me to say cream without saying queen. I don't know what. Anyway, we got the legislative stuff coming up, and for the people in the city, there's a lot.
He's not MPS. No. I'm MPS. So now let's just make sure we understand when y'all do the meme, put MPS over here. We just gonna put what else school system?
I went to private school.
So, okay, there we go. Private.
See
what private school gets. Sometimes it's good just to stay public.
We just paid for safety because we was in trouble. That's what we did. No, so we have that going on, and it's a lot that the that's going on within that area, and some things I know you have some big concerns for as far as what they're going to bring to the city, how it will affect us and our community. What are some of the top things that you look for that could be positive for the city of Montgomery when it comes down to the legislative sessions?
Well, listen, number one would be the occupational tax.
Okay.
Is the biggest issue. It's been talked about in this city for decades.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that 26 other cities have currently.
Right.
It is more than 20% of the city of Birmingham's budget. It is a significant portion of Auburn's budget. So when we're looking at cities that people say, well, why don't you have this or why don't you have that? If I gave you 20% more money in your bank account,
right.
you could probably do a little bit more too.
Exactly.
So, we don't have what, 26 other cities in this state have. And we just want our fair opportunity to receive that revenue so we can invest back in our people and to the projects that they want to see us put in place here. I think second, from that is, supporting public safety and making sure that, Aniah's law and some of the loopholes are closed this session. I think is very important for repeat violent offenders. Mm-hmm. It's important for us to separate those who are repeat violent offenders from those that are smaller crimes and things that don't impact people's safety as much. And so we've got some loopholes we want to see supported there. And then the other part, from us as a city is we want to continue to look at film and tax incentives.
Okay.
We want film and TV, tax incentives. We want to make sure that, from our standpoint, we can compete again with other cities, Huntsville, and others when it comes to bringing the Real Housewives.
Right, yeah.
Now,
come on.
I know we've got other, franchises for Bravo and other streaming services. Mm-hmm. But, we want to put Montgomery in the arts and culture space.
Yeah.
And that means making sure that we can compete at a competitive level when these opportunities come about. So those are three that are important. And then I think you'll also see us looking at some other policies that we believe are going to be more beneficial for each and every person in our community. Okay. And we've got to make sure that, from our standpoint, legislatively at the state level, we are getting and we're able to receive the type of treatment that other cities have. Yeah. We need our residents to understand how important the state government is, in particular in the South. And it's not just Alabama, because when I talk to the mayor of Houston, the mayor of San Antonio, in Texas, you talk to the mayors of Shreveport, Louisiana, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, come all the way through Jackson, and you get to Atlanta even, including Alabama, we don't have home rule. So in a lot of your northern states, what happens at the city is what goes. Well, here is what happens at the State House can dictate what the city does.
Wow.
So we don't have that full authority for all laws when it comes to probably the most important one I made sure to start off with, and that is the one around public safety.
Yeah.
And that is to make sure that, we're putting the TBAC in the permitless carry bill that was removed about 3 years ago, and that we add some form of identification to that bill. And so far, we've got some pretty good feedback on it.
Okay.
If it was up to us, we'd have it in Montgomery, we'd have it in some other communities, but we want to make sure that we're talking about that at the state level so that, hey, if you're going to criticize our city and others, for the crime, then give our law enforcement the tools they need to reduce that crime and to get the bad guys off the street.
That's what I'm talking about. And it sounds weird that it has to be voted on for that to take place.
Right.
But I don't think people really pay attention to that. Like, it's a vote to say we need better resources for our police department, but we're saying, hey, we want a better police department, but nobody's putting a voice to help support what's being passed.
That's
right. You saying that, I'm like, I just thought about that. We got to vote on that stuff?
100%. And that's why people have to understand, because we're going into political primary season, and their state representatives, their state senators are going to be up. They have to ask them, what are they doing in these areas? And I think far too often people, look to what's happening in Washington.
Right.
They hear what's happening locally, but they don't see nor hear what's happening at the state level.
Exactly.
And that's where a lot of the action is taking place. So as those folks come to your churches, come to your civic organizations, come around and knock on your door, ask them what have they done. What bills have they introduced around these other initiatives that we've been talking about here today?
That's what we need to do. Now, hear me. Like, I'm gonna tell a joke at the end, but in all seriousness, that really needs to happen. we need to ask the right questions.
That's right.
Because until we ask the right questions, we really don't know, and stuff continues to repeat itself, and we complaining, but ain't really asking the questions of why this is it. There's nothing wrong with good communication.
No question.
And I think some people are afraid to have the conversation because it may end up in a negative sense. No, like, our tax dollars help go to you to make the best decisions for our community.
Exactly.
And we just letting stuff happen.
Yeah. Well, and we have to be involved. We have to be more engaged, and we have to make sure that, we're doing the things necessary to inform and educate ourselves, and we're listening to, what I'm going to say are the subject matter experts in these spaces. Mm-hmm. Because now more than ever is when you need that knowledge and information to help you make the right decision.
Right. Oh, man, you put me on something. All the way from Greater Washington Park to Von Forest. I need y'all to get yourselves together. I need all the prayer warriors to come together about this legislation so we can make this stuff. Because, again, I've never just thought about that. Like, we see public figures and we really don't ask questions, and they're right there, and it's just a simple conversation.
Absolutely.
But we'll go to McDonald's and cut up because my fries cold. Huh?
Cut up bad.
I asked for sweet tea. Y'all gave me lemonade. We'll talk about that 4 for 4.
That's right.
When it comes down to these bills and this legislation, we're silent.
Right.
I think we do have a great voice to help support not only what you have in the vision for the city, but for ourselves as a community. Yeah. And it's a bad joke, but I'm gonna say it. He said, they say it takes a community to raise the people.
That's right.
He said, but what if the community crazy? So, but
Baltimore
no, right?
City.
I love just hearing the information in the city of Montgomery. I think we can make some stuff happen as long as we let our voice make that be possible. And so, also February 10th, we have the state of the city going down.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna show up for that one. Okay,
Good.
I'm gonna be in a suit. I want to stand out.
There you go.
Like I'm somebody. All right. I'm gonna get my Easter suit.
You all listen. I'm not gonna use that.
I'm gonna get my Easter suit. I'm gonna come up, and when you see me, I'm like, my boy, but how do you feel leading up to February 10th to address the city of Montgomery?
Man, I feel very good, very positive, upbeat about the 2025 that we had. Mm-hmm. I think when you look back at the state of the city, we achieved a lot of what we said we were going to do.
Right.
And now we're in 2026, and we're talking about, not just how the city performed in 2025 and where we're positioned,
right,
but where we're headed this year. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of great initiatives and programs that we're pushing our team to do to address homelessness, to address small business support and entrepreneurship, to make sure we're investing in infrastructure, paving roads, filling potholes, updating our community centers, looking at, greater economic development opportunities and economic growth. Those are things we want to highlight, and there's some other, plans that I think are coming to fruition that we want to share as well. So I think it's always good when you can, give the state of the city to the people of the community and let them know, hey, here's what we have been doing. Here's where we are grateful for the collaboration and the teamwork and the help that we've had with so many, groups. But here's what we're going to do this year with your blessings and with all of the work that people are, putting in. That's the great part of this. Yeah. And I think the state of the city is kind of lay out the roadmap for what we're focused on and to make sure that people know exactly what our priorities are and to make sure they know that we've heard them.
Right.
And we've heard what they want us to do.
Gotcha. I love it. Now, in that preparation of that, do you stand at home in the mirror like, I'm going to say it like this line going to kill him? Like,
you know what? I used to do that, but then I realized that every time I did, I think I jinxed myself.
Really?
And it would never come across, in the public the way it did, when I was practicing.
Right.
You're practicing, you feel like you got it all calm and you're ready, you're ready to take it to another level. Then, you get there and it's like, that wasn't quite how I meant it.
Right.
Did I really say that? That's not really quite what I was trying to do.
Like in football, we watch film on ourselves. Do you ever go back and watch certain things that you've spoke at, like city councils and meetings?
Yeah.
How do you feel about watching yourself? Do you be like, man?
It's always uncomfortable.
Really?
You can never get that A. You can never. There's always something. There's a word that you mangled. There's a sentence that you missed. Mm-hmm. There's a facial expression that you say, well, that didn't look too good.
Right.
So it's always something. Talking too fast.
Right, yeah.
Not emphasizing the points you really want to drive home. So there's always something. Oh, my speech teacher from college would say, Mr. Reed, you saying too many times. And every time we said it was -5.
Really?
It wasn't no -1. So it was -5. So, I mean, you could be at a D, real quick. You had to try to say So you had to build your way back out. So
this the South. I don't even, until you said that, I'm like, and now
listen, I would be in so much trouble. I'm glad I'm the mayor because she would have flunked me out.
Right. Now, speaking of that, you spoke at Morehouse for the MLK weekend.
Coming up.
So it is coming up.
Yeah, yep.
So how you feel about that? I mean, you got a lot of speaking, and of course, you usually do have a lot of speaking engagements. But when you go back to your school, your alma mater, like, how does that feel like going back home?
Man, you don't want to go back as the old man. So number one thing is, all right, but you also can't come across like you're trying too hard to be cool,
right.
So you're somewhere between, like Roy Wood said, you're somewhere between OG status, and unk status.
Okay, I got you. Good blend.
Yeah, you're somewhere in there.
Right.
I think anytime you get a chance to go back to
you're saying, you're going back.
Listen,
that's 10 points.
That's 10 points right there. Listen, I'm done. Listen, I need some extra credit. I can already tell you. Anytime there's an invitation to go back to the college, it's a great chance to be reconnected with the mission of it, the spirit of it, and the young leaders who are there now.
Right.
And the thing I know about Morehouse is, it's kind of like 5-star and 4-star players. They're always, corporate, political, faith, grassroots leaders coming through the ranks. So you better go with your A game because somebody in that, some freshman or some junior will catch something that you said.
Yes.
They would have called all your social media, and they are going to ask you a question, and they're going to say, hey, did you do this, or why did you vote for that?
Right.
And so, listen, it's great, but at the same time, now, it's a little pressure when you go back in front of those collegiate audiences because you got somebody who wants to say, you know what? I talked to the mayor and I called him on this. So,
right.
See, Stacey Abrams doesn't have to worry about that because she's just a private citizen.
Right.
I already told her, I'm like, you good? You're not the governor, so you don't have to worry about that. She's like, but hey, I was minority leader in the legislature, so I remember when people say, why did you pass this bill, or why did you vote for this? So it's a great opportunity to talk about Dr. King's legacy and really the responsibility all of us have. To continue to fight for and to protect those things that he stood for so that we could be in the positions we're in right now.
Correct. Is it easier or harder to talk in front of an older audience or a younger audience?
Oh, it's easier for me to talk in front of an older audience.
Really?
Because for me, the older audience, they are just glad to see somebody younger that has picked up the baton.
Okay.
So they're happy that you decided to do that and didn't just follow all the money. Now, that doesn't mean I won't follow the money when this chapter's over. So if you're hiring out there, let me know. Listen, if you need a former mayor, there'll be that time when I submit my resume.
Right.
But no, the young group, listen, man, they're tight on it. I mean, because they have technology at their fingertips.
Right.
And so they know everything you've written, everything you said, and everything you've done. And I'm telling you, if it doesn't line up right, somebody is going to brush you back off that plate with that fastball, throw one under your chin.
Right.
And they're going to say, hey, a couple of years ago you were saying this. Now you're flip-flopping. If I didn't flip-flop, I adapted.
Right.
Oh, well, now you're going back on your word. No, I didn't go back on. And then it's
right,
one of
back
those.
and forth.
So,
Right.
Anytime you're in that college space, it's good. But listen, I'd rather them pay attention.
Yes.
I'd rather them be tougher than we were back in our day. And do the homework, do the research, and be willing to challenge those of us that are in leadership to say, hey, how are you addressing poverty? How are you addressing affordability? How are you addressing housing challenges in your city? I would much rather them do that than be on their phones, checked out the whole time. You're looking at the top of heads the entire time that you're speaking. So I'll take that.
I love that. I love when you see that younger generation, this toughness that they have. But I'm a debate that.
All right.
I don't know if you're a debater, but I'm just
little bit.
my claim.
What's your thought?
I think this younger generation is tougher behind the phone.
All right.
You go toe to toe. I don't think they got it. Like, everything can be recorded, everything can be talked about, and they can mimic anybody. AI is real. They can take a picture of me and say, I said this, and it's got 1 million views. They ain't got to check.
Right.
Huh? Hello? You got all the subscribers mimicking me. But I believe when it comes down toe to toe from this older generation, I'm gonna take yours, more mature generation. Y'all had encyclopedias.
Oh, that's right.
That you had to go back and research.
That's right.
I could go on my phone. When they first came, it was Ask Jeeves. I don't know if y'all remember that.
That's right.
But you can go on ChatGPT. You can go on any AI and Google 5-minute lecture and act like you know everything.
That's true.
And I feel that we didn't have the same opportunity, so we technically know more.
You know, I think that you want to feel like you know more.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, they have so much information at their fingertips. I mean, they basically have a home computer.
Yes.
Times 10. Right
there.
here.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I think for us, when we kind of consider where we are, they're in a better position. I think sometimes they just don't have the opportunity to express their intellectual prowess. They aren't sure how it's going to be received. What I try to do is to make sure that, one, say what's on your mind.
Right.
You want to challenge the position I've taken, you want to challenge an idea or a thought, it's going to make me better. And I think when you consider innovation usually comes from younger people because it is new. And they say, well, why have you been doing government like this?
Right.
Why don't you do it like that? And then you get a chance to say, maybe we should. And then at the same time, you say, well, help me do it, right? Help me leverage your creativity to do exactly what it is you're talking about.
I agree. I took my kids to Rufus St. Louis.
Yeah,
during
library.
Christmas break. And my son said, Dad, it's a lot of books in here. He said, it's a lot. I'm like, yeah, man, this is history. This is tangible. Like, I'm old school. I want to flip the pages.
Yeah.
I want to make my notes type deal. But for him, he said, well, can't I just look this up on my iPad? I'm like, son, it's a different feel when you actually have a book in your hand. But this generation, like a book.
Oh.
Hey, Siri,
Right.
and it's right there. And I get jealous.
Right.
And I don't know why I'm jealous. I'm like, man, go flip the pages and read it. Like, do you feel that the book season is over with now?
No, I just told, I was just telling both of my sons, I got a few books for them to read, several.
Right.
Most of them they don't want to read, but I told them they didn't have a choice. So I didn't ask y'all.
Right, I'm telling you.
Right? This is not a democracy. Right. This house is a dictatorship. You want a democracy, go somewhere else. I don't even know if we have one in the United States anymore, but that's a whole nother story. So no, you gotta make sure that our young people are still reading and digesting ideas, how to put together sentences, how to share different narratives.
Right.
And you don't get that just from, going to, Gemini or Copilot or, ChatGPT, whatever it may be. It's one of those things where some things are still what they are. It's like when the microwave came out. Okay, some people thought we could microwave everything.
Right.
Well, no, some things still take time.
You need to cook. Right.
That's right. Some things got to marinate.
Right.
Some things got to sit a little bit. Then you got to prepare it and season it. Then you got to cook it, sometimes a little slower than others. Mm-hmm. Intellectual growth is still determined by those things. You got to marinate it. You got to season it. You got to give it time, and you got to then, let it show itself in various ways. And that comes through reading,
yes.
Remembering and reciting those things. If it's just, search this or if it's just look this up, then it's back to a microwave approach and thought. Yes. Mm-hmm. And that's not going to get anyone as far as they think it will. It's ultimately going to be a hindrance to where they really want to be, later down the line.
I'm with that. And in this reading, I'm finna shift you. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
The Indiana Hoosiers have won the national championship over Miami.
Listen.
The U.
I might take off this suit for depending on where you're going. Go ahead.
And I'm gonna go straight for the jugular. I think the NIL has messed up college football in its full totality. There's no way possible in the past 3 years, Michigan, Ohio State, and Indiana.
All Big Ten.
What is going on with the SEC? Now, I'm gonna start with Alabama because y'all supposed to be representing the state and the whole South as a whole, and right now y'all really embarrassing us right now.
Well, listen, I'll agree to that. I think a lot of them will agree to it. Hey, money has changed the game. Money has changed the game from the standpoint of who can offer what player, X amount of dollars. When you look at the Big Ten and you look at those big schools like Indiana,
right,
Michigan. You look at Notre Dame, even though Notre Dame's not technically in the Big Ten. You look at those Midwestern schools, they all have large enrollments. They all have a lot more alumni, and they all have a hell of a lot more money.
Correct.
A hell of a lot more money. So
right.
the SEC got some things to think about. The SEC has some things to think about because you're not Texas or Texas A&M sitting on oil money and energy money. You got some real things to consider. Is how do you compete when your best and brightest in Alabama, Cam Coleman going to Texas, James Smith and Quay going to Ohio State? How can you compete when the best in Alabama aren't going to Alabama or Auburn? They're going where the paycheck is. And listen, you know what that's like? It's like your best students when they graduate college here.
Right.
They go to the growth markets. They go to Texas. They go to Virginia. They go to California, New York. The South, Andre 3000, the South got something to say. I'm saying the South got something to think about.
Like, for real, because I'm looking at this, I'm like, what athlete that's a 4 or 5 star listens to a coach from Indiana and say, I want you on my team so we can win a national championship?
No one.
And you go. But then he
says no one.
But then you got the envelope.
That's right.
Here you. Oh man.
Oh, listen.
Oh my goodness.
But you know what? I think that what we saw Monday with the U is a situation of you can't forget the basics. Football is blocking and tackling.
Yeah.
And both Miami and Indiana were great examples of blocking and tackling. And I think what we have to understand is, you can't be a finesse team, all season and then try to get physical in the playoffs.
Correct.
If you're gonna be tough, you gotta be tough year round.
Correct.
You can't be tough when it's time to fight.
Right.
Can't be tough when it's time to fight now. Okay? You gotta be tough day in, day out.
Right.
And that's what happened to Bama. But here's my thing, and you heard it here first on the Mayor's State. It had nothing to do with politics.
Come on.
Nothing to do with government. If I'm Alabama, if I'm the University of Alabama, capstone, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna offer some tech bro a seat at the table. What do you mean? When I look at PayPal and I look at Google and I look at all of these all these great Apple's Tim Cook. But when I look, let's take him out of the mix. But when I look at most of these tech inventions and these things that made people gazillionaires,
correct.
What I see are some people who did not go to school where they had great football or basketball teams.
You're right.
They didn't have great athletic programs. I mean, for lack of a better term, they were kind of the nerds in school.
Correct, right.
So they're looking to be cool. They want to come hang with, the cool guys.
The popular people, right. Yeah,
they want to be down with the culture. Well, SEC says it means more. Then why don't I go get somebody who's not really affiliated with any big athletic program and say, I'm going to offer you a seat at the table to help fund my collective and help fund my NIL. Why not do that? They may be from Alabama. They may have friends or family that went to school.
Right.
But if they're not connected, then I don't have a Mark Cuban like Indiana has. So if I don't have a Mark Cuban or some Texas oil billionaire or several of them like the Longhorns have,
right.
then why don't I go to, Wall Street or go to Silicon Valley and say, listen, Mr. Small College, success story, you did great, but we know you want to see your name where the cool guys. That's right. You want to hear some hip hop guy, some rapper talk about your name. You want to see your name on social media.
Right.
So now you ready to come out of the background, if you will, to the forefront. Here, come be the lead donor to our NIL Connected so we can keep the brand of Alabama football and Crimson Tide football right where it needs to be.
So that's just like saying Ryan Williams.
That's right.
In a football commercial saying, with the Meta glasses, hey Meta, record me catching this.
There we go.
And the owners of Meta partnered with the University of Alabama.
That's right.
Now that's the new form of income for NIL deals.
That's right.
To bring the South back again.
That's right.
They ain't coming here. They ain't coming because what's going to happen is a lot of places in the South, I don't think they know how to mix breed with the culture of what the South presents.
Okay.
Example, when Deion Sanders first came to Atlanta, when he came out to Combine, he came to Atlanta. It shifted the culture for Atlanta because he knew it was already a throwing culturistic city, but then everybody wanted to be that was of that culture.
Right.
I don't know if they would feel safe coming down here to the South. Because that big mogul In Texas, you got the oil. Well, that's Texas. If you go to Florida, you got well, I'll take Auburn, the big owner of Yellowwood.
That's right.
It's one of their biggest donors that they have. But that's it.
Right.
Like, we ain't got nobody else. Like, what do you think would be something that the South, that is a mega multi-corporation, that the South could use that benefits the South before we head out to everybody else?
Well, listen, most of the people in the South are going to have their ties to their state universities and to the schools they went to, or somebody in their circle went to, right?
Right.
So it's going to be tough to draw somebody from Atlanta as opposed to them giving to the University of Georgia unless they have made it so big and they're an alum of Auburn or Alabama, right? But what I'm saying is, if I'm not connected, then what's wrong with it doing invitation? Let me give you an example.
Okay.
So from my standpoint, for the city of Montgomery, we always talk about closing a deal,
Right.
selling the city in terms of who we are now and who we want to be, not who we were.
Right.
So when we're talking to companies and we're talking to CEOs of Meta,
Right.
of Diageo, of Manna Beverages, Hyundai, it doesn't matter. We're talking about, hey, this is what we're laying the groundwork for the next 10 years.
Right.
We want you to be a part of it, buy low, sell high. Get in on the ground floor, be a partner with us. That's what we're talking about. We're trying to bring jobs and opportunities to the city.
Right.
So if you're Alabama, then you've already got a brand.
Right.
You've got a
Correct.
winning
Yes,
brand.
right.
You got a brand that's almost like the Yankees when it
Correct.
comes to college football.
Correct.
You got Nick Saban, who's still around. Now, that's
Right.
not going to be 30 years from now.
Right.
So you got to leverage him as your brand ambassador while you can.
Yeah.
So you got St. Nick sitting over here, doing the same thing. Well, you got to be able to say, all right, now, we know you didn't go to school here. You may not have thought about coming here. But I promise you what, if this was a professional franchise, you'd want to buy a piece of it, wouldn't you?
Correct.
That person say, yeah, okay. Atlanta Falcons, New Orleans Saints, professional franchises, family run. But if they were up for sale, these same people would want to buy in. So I'm offering you a chance to buy a stake of ownership in Alabama football, into the Crimson Tide, in the NIL. Because that's the only way you're going to be able to compete
Right.
with Chicago.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to be able to compete with, Columbus, Ohio,
Right.
Cincinnati. All these big alumni bases in the Big Ten, you're not going to be able to compete with that. Then when you add in the West Coast of USC and UCLA and Oregon, Phil Knight money,
Right,
Nike,
right.
you better find you somebody that's on that billionaire list. Look, it ain't hard to find. You go to that Forbes billionaire list and you say, who went to this school? They don't have no team. They have no program.
Invest
Let's go
here.
and talk to them and listen. And let's go do our own sort of business development.
Right.
And let's take our product to them and say, we want you to buy into it and we want you to invest in it.
I need a suit right now. I don't know who I'm finna go talk to.
Hey, listen,
I'm fired up now, baby. I don't know
You
who-
can't lose no 5 stars out of Crawford High School
Right.
from Bama to Ohio State.
Right,
We're
correct,
not
yes.
going to accept that.
You're right,
I'm
you're
not going to
right.
accept that. I was mad when I saw that happen.
Yeah.
So we're not going to accept that. So you can't lose in-state 5 stars like Cam Coleman of Texas.
Correct.
Listen, it's already hard enough to get them here.
Yeah.
But once you have them, you can't lose. So you
Right.
got to do whatever it takes to make sure they stay home.
I'm finna call Church's Chicken. I'm going to the corporate office right now, because I feel like now just hearing that, because it's like that. Those how the business deals work. But and again, I'm talking about the growth of the city of Montgomery. We got Hyundai here.
That's right.
We got Meta coming.
Yeah.
We got some other big things that I
Amazon.
know Amazon's coming. Those are the people I need to be in the meeting with you, Mary
That's right.
Reed. I'm just trying to learn. I'm gonna get my little Sheen suit and get it together. But I never thought about that. We need to fire Kalen DeBoer.
Hey, you what?
We need to fire him.
Wait, that wasn't part of the script.
Oh, okay.
Wait, you going?
Because we're gonna do a business deal. We need to go all the way through.
Oh man,
we need to go all the way through.
You
Now,
hardcore.
now, this is what
See,
we're
but
gonna do.
you're an Auburn fan. Y'all fire a coach every 2 years.
You worrying about the wrong thing.
Y'all fire a coach every 2 years. Man.
We need
Look,
to.
y'all got coaches still on the payroll from the 2010s.
Okay, so I'll take it to your level. I ain't got my suit on, but I'm fixing my jacket. I believe a good head coach can strategize both on the field and off the field, but understand the corporation as well. And I believe Auburn hasn't done that, because all we got is Mr. Yellowwood. That's the only one we got. But if me and you team up together,
Yeah,
I think we can make something happen.
let's make it happen.
But I need you to sign that contract that you're an Auburn fan.
Can't do it.
It's in the car, right?
It's a no go. No go.
Do you know what we can do to change the trajectory? Like Cam Newton said it. There's only 4 most important people in the state of Alabama.
Who?
The head coach of Alabama, the head coach of Auburn, the starting quarterback at Alabama, and the starting quarterback at Auburn.
Well, Okay.
Now we finna make a fifth.
Who?
In a half. That's me and you. Look, look. It's always a pleasure to sit and chat with you. Like you put me on game today. I'm finna go home and get my Easter suit.
Listen,
I'm finna make a business deal with
Greg
somebody.
Sankey in Birmingham. I'm telling you what to do. The SEC, you got it. Listen, you gonna compete with them boys in the Midwest and the West Coast.
We need the people.
Listen, you gotta have some money to match their money.
I'm with it.
And
They coming though.
We don't quite have it.
They coming. They're here. It's somewhere around here.
Well, listen, if you know where it is, you better get Alabama and Auburn to find it because they're losing.
Now you think I'm gonna give my resources to the University of Alabama?
Well, listen, help your school out because they need it more than Alabama.
But you got a better face than me, so your
know
suits
about
look better. My suit jacket's too tight, right? But they're gonna still me in the building, man. This is the Mayor's Take. It's such a great opportunity to actually just learn and chat with you. You put me on game today. City Montgomery, hey, come together, have these conversations, know what's going on with our legislation, so we don't get bamboozled by it. And then you got to come and tell the bad news because ain't nobody say nothing.
Right.
Then we're gonna get mad at you.
Right. They're gonna come down to city council meeting they cut up.
Right.
They come to city council meeting cut up. Y'all go to the legislature and the governor and everybody else is down there doing their thing.
Exactly, man. It's a pleasure. This is the Mayor's Take. I'm your host, Darrell Hall, the one and only Mayor Stephen L. Reed. You have a great day.